Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to do a cook with me. I am making English muffin bread. I saw this recipe ago and I've been wanting to make it, and now we have nothing but time, so I made it this morning. I'm making it this morning and we'll see how it goes. It looks really easy and it looks delicious. I hope it's as good as it looks. So let me turn you around and let's get started. Okay, what we need for ingredients: we need a tablespoon of honey, we need baking powder, kosher salt, 2 tablespoons of yeast, a 1/4 cup of warm water, about 115 degrees, 5½ cups of flour, and 2 1/4 cups of warm milk. This is going to make 2 loaves of bread, so you will need 2 bread pans, 2 loaf pans, and also some non-stick spray and some cornmeal for dusting. Let's get started on this bread. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do is 2 tablespoons of yeast. Then a 1/4 cup of the warm water and a tablespoon of the honey. We're going to give that a quick mix, and we're just going to set it aside. While we prepare the dry ingredients. So next, in this bowl, we're going to do 2 teaspoons of kosher salt, a 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder, and then 5½ cups of flour. There's 2 right there. Four. And 5½ We're going to give this a quick stir. We're going to bring the yeast mixture back. You can see it's already beginning to proof. It's starting to bubble, so we know our yeast is fresh and active. So we are going to add the milk and 1 cup of the flour mixture. And we're going to blend this well. I'm going to turn off the camera because you don't need to hear it, and I'll be right back to show you the next step. Okay, now we're going to add the rest of the mixture and beat it well. It's not going to be a traditional bread dough. It's not going to be something you can knead, something that's thick, something that pulls away from the sides. It's going to be very soft and gloopy. So don't keep adding flour to make it look like regular bread dough, because it's not going to. It's going to be loose and gloopy. So I am going to add the rest of this off camera, and I will show you what it looks like, and we'll get it in the pans and get it ready to rise. Okay, sorry for all the noise around here. We've got breakfast cooking and everything else going on. So here's the batter. See what I mean about it being gloopy? So we are going to divide it between 2 pans, and I have them sprayed with non-stick spray And then I dusted them with cornmeal. Coarse cornmeal is the best, but I used what I had. Now I'm going to try to get these as even as I can. I should have weighed them, but honestly, I'm feeling a bit lazy this morning. And after I got done, I realized I really probably should have mixed this dough by hand and not in the mixer. I'm just worried about it being a little over mixed because it is English muffin bread and you want those nooks and crannies that are famous in the English muffins. And I'm just a little worried, but we'll see what happens. Okay, now we just need to let these rise in a warm place for about 45 minutes or until they're up to the top of the pan, and then we will bake them. So I will be back to show you what they look like before they go in the oven. Okay, they are done rising. I used my glass loaf pans because that's what the recipe recommended, but my glass loaf pans are a little bit smaller than my other ones and we had a little over rise, so I'm not quite sure what I'm gonna do. I might just bake it like that and see what happens, but next time I will definitely use my Pampered Chef stoneware ones because they are bigger, or I will use 3 loaf pans and split it into 3. So now we are going to put these in the oven at, I think it's 425 degrees for 22 minutes. I'll show you what they look like when they come out. Okay, here it is right out of the oven. I left it in a couple minutes too long. It's a little browner than I would like, but we'll see. First time making it, so you live and learn. I'm going to turn it out onto the cooling rack and let it cool. I'm going to resist trying to cut into it now because the recipe specifically says to let it cool. So we shall see. So here is what the cross section of the bread looks like. You can see it definitely looks like an English muffin. I think if I did not use the mixer, this will be a little bit more defined with the nooks and crannies, but I'm not sure. And as you can see, there was a bit of overlap. I used glass pans like they said, but they were a little bit smaller than my regular loaf pans. So I think next time I will definitely use my Pampered Chef stoneware ones and do 2 loaves, or bring in a 3rd glass pan so we don't have overflow like that. But despite that, it is absolutely delicious. We toasted a piece and tasted it, and we love it. It did make 2 loaves, but I have given away other loaves because it's dangerous to have around here. If you slice each loaf into 10 slices, which are very generous slices, it is 4 points per slice, which I don't think is bad if you have it with 0-point eggs and maybe some Canadian bacon. You have like a 5-point breakfast. And like I said, it's very hearty and very filling. So there you have it, English muffin bread. And like I said, if you slice it into 10 slices, each loaf, it is 4 points per slice. It is absolutely delicious and totally worth it. So I know this is something that I am going to be making again and again because my family loved it. So, and it is the same points on all 3 plans. So that is it. I hope you enjoyed this, and I will have the recipe, as always, linked below. It'll take you right to my website where the recipe is. And that's it for me. Have a great day.